think it's time that we talk about consumerism.
Check this out.
The bright, bracing flavor of Coke.
This new toothbrush will rock your world. Introducing Tooth Tunes.
We, humanity, are destroying the planet we live on, and we're doing it in the name of consumerism.
Here in the US, and I guess you could say the West in general, we have cultivated this culture of unnecessary spending. A big part of what keeps the US economy going is that we need to continuously produce and consume more and more year after year, and if we don't, a recession occurs. And because of that, companies will spend billions, and I mean billions of dollars solely on commercials and marketing. They start us off young, making commercials for dolls and toys that are specifically targeted towards kids.
And I may be speaking for myself here, but I don't really think that I am when I say that the average American can't really afford to continuously buy their children toys. So this thing occurs. I've been thinking about this for weeks, and I think I finally found a way to lay this idea out concisely. So as I said, they market to us children from a young age, telling us that our lives would be so much better if we just had this one toy. So we beg our parents for it. We nag them non-stop. We're relentless. That is, until they give in and finally buy us that toy that we thought would change our lives. But then something strange happens, and we realize that that toy really isn't all that fun at all. So we play with it for a few days, maybe even for a few weeks, until it provides us no more entertainment. And then we see another commercial, and again the cycle continues. But now we've reached an interesting point in my theory, because at some point our parents won't buy us toys anymore, because we have too many, because they can't afford it, because we don't need it. And we see the other children on TV playing with these amazing toys that our parents say we can't have. So we spend the rest of our childhood being deprived of these toys, except for special occasions like Christmas or your birthday. But now, the anticipation of having to wait for this incredible toy is just so high that when we finally receive it, we are just elated, the happiest we could possibly be. And now we associate that feeling of happiness with commodities, with toys, and with material objects. And so as we get older, we get jobs and we get our own money, and now we don't have to ask our parents to buy us these things. We can finally buy all the things we see on TV, all the things that we want, that we know will make us so happy, that will give us that feeling we are desperately craving, that feeling that we remember having as a child. And now we buy, and we continue to buy, and because of that, we have to work more and work harder, trying to earn enough money to buy all those things. But now we're at a tough spot, because our friends, our family, and our coworkers are all living in the same cycle with us. They all have nice things too. And that doesn't really make us feel good, that our brother has a bigger house than us, that our friend has a nicer car, that our aunt has a bigger, newer TV. And so now we compete with them. We start bragging and buying, not just for that feeling of happiness, but for the feeling of being better than other people. And because we work so hard for these things, we should feel better about ourselves. Because the people who don't have all this stuff, who don't have a nice car, who don't have nice clothes, are less than us. And not only are they less than us, but they're lazy. Because if they worked hard just like us, if they worked 9 to 5 every day, only having 2 days off a week and never taking a sick day, they too could be as happy as we are. They could have all the nice things that we have. But it reaches a point where we work so hard, we work so much, take almost no vacations and no sick days, that now in our spare time, we have to sit and watch TV to cope with how hard we work. So we watch TV and we scroll on our phones and we do nothing else. We don't read and we don't really care what's happening with our friends anymore because we just wanted to compete with them to begin with. So we watch TV, we scroll, we mindlessly consume content. And our children watch TV with us. They scroll on their tablet, watch videos on their phones, and they see the ads and commercials that you saw on TV when you were a kid. And now you've continued the system. Now your child has become you. And I might have made that a little simple or jumped to a few conclusions, but I think I made the overall idea of what I'm trying to say pretty clear. The economy in the United States and in other Western nations have calculated everything. They have built an entire system on gratification, addiction, and unnecessary spending. People spend to reward themselves, to celebrate, to fix problems, to elevate their status. And it's easier than ever to buy things, especially at this day and age. You can click a button and 2 hours later, whatever you want can show up at your door. Even with all the technology and information available to us, we continue to just mindlessly consume. Can you imagine what would happen if everyone in this country stopped buying all the unnecessary things that didn't add any value to their lives? The economy would collapse and never recover, which is an interesting dichotomy. We know the consumption is at an all-time high. We know that it's bad for our health, for the planet, and our happiness. But under the current economic system, if we were to stop consuming, the world economy would fall into ruin. And one of the ways they get you into this cycle is by standardizing a 40-hour work week as the normal lifestyle. When we only have 2 days off a week, it makes it so much easier for us to want things to be simple, to be convenient. People only have 2 precious days off, so now they have to decide if they want to read, go on a walk, see their friends, or do they have to go to the doctor, go grocery shopping? Do they have to do laundry? We have almost no time for hobbies, and those things seem frivolous when we only have 2 precious days off. The last thing people want to do when they come home from a long and challenging workday is exercise or read or go out with their friends. But the 40-hour workweek is too profitable for businesses to stop doing it, and not because of the amount of work we actually get done in 8 hours, because countless studies have shown that when people work less, they are more productive, but because it makes for such a purchase-happy public. Keeping days off minimal and free time sparse means that people will pay for convenience, for gratification, and any other form of relief they can buy. And this is what keeps them scrolling, it's what keeps them consuming content, and it's what keeps them unambitious outside of work. And it sounds insidious because it is. We buy so much because it seems like something in our lives is missing. And the allure of consumerism is very strong until you realize the true cost of it is your soul. And by the time most people realize it, it's too late, because they're in debt, they have kids, they have jobs, people they need to support. People are essentially trapped. Many of the US's problems, obesity, pollution, corruption, addiction, are all what it takes to create and perpetuate the biggest economy on earth. And the government is fine using people's health as collateral damage. Because in order for the economy to work, people have to be unhealthy. Because healthy people don't unnecessarily buy things to fill the void in their lives. And they don't need constant stimulation, so they don't see ads, they don't scroll, and they don't consume content. And it's insidious not only for what it does for you, but the consequences of consumerism can be seen everywhere. It fuels climate change, encourages corporations to lower their workers' wages, trying to extract as much wealth from them as possible. It's what's responsible for the horrible working conditions, not just of peoples in the US, but when these companies sell things for cheap, it generally means that they're exporting this labor to the global south, exploiting people not only domestically, but globally. It's horrible what greed does to people and ultimately what it's doing to our planet. And it all links back here to our compulsive need to buy. And I do acknowledge that the blame is not solely on individuals, it's mostly corporations and the dark money they use to buy politicians to pass laws that deregulate their own industries. But I think now more than ever, it's important that we understand and recognize our role in this issue. A lot of people don't even question the system that we live in, and it's scary. Because consumerism is something that has been able to adapt and conform to our ever-changing society. When people stopped watching TV, companies pushed ads on social media. When YouTube introduced the skip ad button, companies paid creators to promote them. From the Kardashians glamorizing excess to your neighbor judging you for having an older car, consumerism has infiltrated its way into every aspect of our lives. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I hate to say all this and have it not build to some grand conclusion, but this is just how it is. We'll continue to be pushed towards consumerism as long as we remain unaware. And I think spreading awareness is one way that we can help, and realizing that having material possessions won't really add any real meaning or value to your life. And I know it's easy to say that, but it really is something that's true. And even I have to constantly remind myself of this because, like I said, the allure of consumerism is really strong. But that's why we need to remain aware. So much can be gained from reading, sitting outside, hanging out with your friends, or even going on a walk, all of which are free. And I really can't think of one thing that you meaningfully gain from having a bigger car or a really nice house. Just something to think about. And I don't really have any answers for what we should do, because this is becoming a global issue. But I really do think that we need to talk about it more, because it's not talked about enough. So that is the video for today. I just want to say a big thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, please be sure to share and subscribe. I've been really trying to make quality videos, which is why it's been a while since I've posted, but I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.